Stop scrolling. This is an urgent message for you. Not for the person who watched this yesterday. Not for the one who will see it tomorrow. For you right now, in this exact moment where eternity collides with your deepest pain. Do you feel that shift in the atmosphere around you? That subtle tremor in your spirit? Heaven has been orchestrating this divine appointment between your wounded heart and the revelation you desperately need. You didn't stumble upon this message through random algorithms or coincidental timing. You were drawn here by invisible threads that have been gently pulling at your soul for weeks, maybe months. This is what you must understand immediately. I have been watching you carry the weight of betrayal like a stone pressed against your chest. I saw you 3 nights ago when you couldn't sleep, replaying that moment when trust shattered like glass in your hands. I was there last Thursday when you forced yourself to smile while your heart bled in silence. I noticed yesterday when you deleted that message before sending it, the words too heavy with pain to release into the world. Someone broke your trust. Someone you loved chose another path, influenced by a woman whose intentions were never pure. The betrayal cut so deep it changed the rhythm of your breathing, the way you move through each day like you are walking underwater. You have been wondering if anyone sees the real battle you are fighting, not the surface wounds that others might notice, but the deep warfare happening in the chambers of your heart where forgiveness feels impossible and healing seems like a distant dream. Let me answer the question that haunts your 3 a.m. moments. Every tear that fell in darkness, every prayer that felt like it bounced off the ceiling, every moment you wondered if justice would ever come. They have all been seen, collected, and treasured by heaven. But what I am about to reveal will reshape everything you thought you knew about that season of pain. The woman who orchestrated your heartbreak is facing something she never anticipated. In the shadows of her seemingly victorious life, a battle has begun that she cannot win through manipulation or control. Her body has become a battlefield where spiritual consequences have taken physical form. The diagnosis she received last month carries weight far beyond medical terminology. It represents the collision between choices made in darkness and the unchanging laws of divine justice. She sits in doctors' offices now, hearing words that strip away the illusion of invincibility she once wore like armor. The same hands that once pulled strings to manipulate relationships now tremble as they hold test results. The voice that whispered poison into willing ears now struggles to form questions about treatment options and survival rates. But here is what she doesn't understand, and what you need to know. This illness isn't merely physical manifestation, it is spiritual revelation. You see, when she chose to interfere with love, to plant seeds of discord where peace should have grown, she opened doorways in her life that she couldn't close. The enemy doesn't honor loyalties or protect those who serve his purposes. He used her to wound you, and now he is turning those same weapons of destruction against her. The illness spreading through her body mirrors the spiritual poison she welcomed into her heart. Every cell fighting for survival reflects the battle between light and darkness that has been raging in her soul. But this revelation isn't about celebrating another's suffering. God is showing you this for a reason that will transform your understanding of His justice and mercy. While she hides this diagnosis from the man she influenced, terrified that vulnerability will shatter the image she crafted through deception, heaven is preparing a different kind of revelation for your heart. I have watched you wrestle with forgiveness like Jacob wrestled with the angel. Some nights you feel close to release. Other nights the anger burns fresh as if the betrayal happened yesterday. You have prayed for the strength to forgive but wondered if forgiveness means letting injustice win. You have asked why her happiness should continue while your heart still bears scars from her interference tonight. These questions receive their answer. The woman who disrupted your love story is learning what you have always known, that we are all fragile beings dependent on grace we haven't earned. Her carefully constructed world is crumbling, not because God lacks mercy, but because mercy sometimes arrives through the demolition of illusions. The disease ravaging her body is an invitation to recognize the spiritual sickness she has carried far longer than any medical diagnosis could measure. But here is where the story takes an unexpected turn. God isn't asking you to feel satisfaction in her suffering. He is inviting you to see her as He sees her, a broken woman who chose poorly, who listened to whispers of darkness instead of calls toward light, who is now facing consequences that could become catalysts for redemption if she chooses differently than she has before. The man she influenced away from you doesn't know about her illness because she fears his reaction. fears losing the control she has maintained through careful image management. She doesn't realize that this secret creates the very distance she is trying to avoid. In trying to appear strong, she is building walls that guarantee isolation when what her soul actually craves is connection genuine enough to survive truth-telling. Meanwhile, you have been growing in ways that can only happen through the refining fire of undeserved pain. Your capacity for compassion has deepened through your own wounding. Your ability to recognize authentic love has been sharpened by experiencing its counterfeit. The betrayal that nearly destroyed you has been transforming you into someone capable of loving more purely than you ever could before. This is the mystery of divine justice. It doesn't always look like punishment falling on the guilty while the innocent celebrate. Sometimes it looks like brokenness creating opportunities for breakthrough, like consequences becoming catalysts for character transformation, like the worst thing that happened becoming the foundation for the best thing yet to come. God is asking you to pray for her healing, both physical and spiritual. Not because she deserves it, but because you do. Every prayer you lift for someone who wounded you breaks another chain of bitterness around your own heart. Every moment you choose compassion over condemnation, you step further into the freedom that forgiveness provides. This isn't about her earning grace through suffering. It is about you accessing grace through choosing mercy. The illness she is hiding could become the doorway to humility she has never walked through. The vulnerability she is desperately trying to conceal could become the bridge to authentic relationship she has never experienced. The fear that grips her heart when she thinks about mortality could become the awakening that turns her toward eternal things. But these transformations only happen if someone prays them into possibility. Here is what happens when you release this situation into God's hands through forgiveness and prayer. The bitterness that has been poisoning your own wellspring of joy begins to clear. The mental energy you have spent rehearsing old hurts becomes available for dreaming new dreams. The emotional space occupied by resentment opens up for love that has been waiting to enter. Your heart becomes a garden where beautiful things can grow again instead of a graveyard where old pain is buried, but never truly dead. God wants to heal both of you, but healing cannot be forced, only offered. She must choose whether to receive the grace being extended through this crisis. You must choose whether to become a vessel of that grace or remain trapped in the prison of justified anger. Both choices are yours to make, but only one leads to freedom. The revelation I am sharing with you tonight isn't just about her hidden diagnosis. It is about the hidden healing that becomes possible when you choose forgiveness as an act of worship, rather than waiting until it feels emotionally convenient. It is about discovering that mercy isn't weakness. It is the strength that comes from knowing you are loved unconditionally by the one whose opinion matters most. But now, beloved, the season is shifting. The spiritual atmosphere around your situation is changing, like weather systems colliding to create something new. What looked like your opponent's victory is becoming her valley of decision. What felt like your defeat is becoming your greatest testimony of God's faithfulness. The story isn't over. It is simply moving into a chapter where redemption becomes possible for everyone involved. This is your moment to choose who you will become through this experience. Will you remain defined by betrayal or transformed by grace? Will you let bitterness calcify around your heart like scar tissue? Or will you let love flow through you like living water? The woman who wounded you is facing mortality in ways that strip away pretense and reveal soul truth. You are facing a choice that will determine whether her crisis becomes your breakthrough or your bondage. Release her into God's hands through prayer. Forgive not because she has earned it, but because you have the power to choose freedom over captivity. Trust that divine justice is being served even when it doesn't look like revenge. Believe that the same God who allowed your pain is mighty to transform it into purpose. Watch him work in ways that will leave no doubt about his intimate involvement in your story. Your latter will be greater than your former. The love you lost was preparation for the love you will receive. The trust that was broken was training for discernment that will protect future relationships. The betrayal that nearly destroyed you was building strength you will need for the victories ahead. Now witness his power as healing flows to every wounded place, and blessing multiplies beyond what justice alone could provide. Watch him work. Heaven is moving on your behalf, and mercy is preparing miracles that will astound both you and those who once counted you defeated.